I'm an expert on at Prolific Writers Life. That's pretty cool. I'm Rod Sanford out of Orlando, Florida. I've been writing for over 20 years. Most of my stuff is murder mystery with some children's fantasy adventure and a couple of romances, but most of my stuff is murder mystery. I'm known for the Teak Mannion murder mystery and the Dying Hard murder mystery. My background is in insurance investigations. I've handled or investigated a myriad of commercial and residential homeowners claims, probably in excess of now approaching more than $100 million. So I've been able to leverage that background into two really great murder mystery series. Really excited about being a part of Prolific Writer's Life and being able to pass on some of the skills that you learn over 20 years to others. There's two schools of thought in fiction writing. Some say just take the story and let the characters take you where they go. I'm of the other school where you need to plan out. You need to know where the story is going. You need to know how it's going to end. And there's nothing wrong with it. Secondly, I believe building great characters makes a great story. If you've got a hero with faults and nobility and biases and shortcomings, think that the story practically writes itself. The best stories, you know what the ending is, and so that way you don't get lost. Like most writer's block, or what people call writer's block, or getting stuck, is a byproduct of poor planning. I think, yeah, that's one of my expertise. Is yeah, just let's plan this thing out. It'll be okay. It'll still have spontaneity and creativity, but we need to know where we're going. And like I said, I think also I'm the biggest thing, probably bigger than that, I push building 360-degree, well-rounded, real characters, whether it's the main character or the sub-characters. I actually think in many cases, the sub-characters, the supporting characters, this is the buddy or the sidekick to the villain even, make some of the best stories. The whole idea of success by serving is something personal with me. So I always wanted to do some level of training or teaching or passing on the gift. And I really didn't have an organized, systematic way of doing it. And Prolific Writer's Life gave me that, the ability to showcase what I wanted to offer and to do it and to practice it and to perfect it. And so it's been really great. The thing about Prolific Writer's Life, before it's anything, it's a community. So there's this underlying camaraderie that underpins the teachings, the classes, the business part of it. It's first and foremost a writing community. We talk about everything from our projects to what we're doing every weekend, and things having really a lot of times nothing to do with our writing projects. I know things about these individuals, and they know things about me as a person, aside from a writer. I've been to a number of writing projects, write your book in 30 days. And I'm still a member of some other communities where it's very offhand. It's very, in your face and let us show you how to do this. And it's very rushed. And it's impersonal. And as many times as they hit the mark, those other programs miss the mark. And unfortunately, it's kind of a waste of time for the writer, because the ultimate purpose of all this is to get this project finished, get this book finished and out to the world, because it doesn't become a great book until someone's read it and been affected by it. The big difference between some of the larger, let me show you how to do it programs and Prolific Writer's Life is Prolific Writer's Life, they meet the writer, the individual writer, where they are. Some folks still have it in their head. They haven't written a word. Many of us are somewhere through the process. They've outlined and maybe they've got a few chapters. Wherever you are, some people have a full draft done and just can't get to the next level. Wherever you are, being in a writing community like Prolific Writer's Life finds you where you are and takes you to where you need. You don't get lost in the shuffle. You don't feel like the whole system is passing you by because you're not there yet. It finds you where you are. Prolific writer's life, like I said, the community piece of it helps me, you know, share my gift, but it also helps me in my own personal goals. It's made me one of the biggest things. It's kind of got me back into nonfiction writing. I mean, I've written a few blog articles, and I haven't written that type of kind of editorial writing since college, and it's been fun. And so it's opened up that piece to me. Like I mentioned earlier, it's given me a framework and a showcase to share the gift. So it's not kind of hit and miss. There's a systematic way of doing that, and that's a big part of my success because I think you. I'm a big believer in selling through service. So if you're serving your audience and answering a need they have, whether it's through your writing or through your teaching, then the business part of it kind of takes care of itself. Um, I think the third piece is, the thing about writing as an art form, it's very isolated. You talk to most writers, they spend way too much time probably by themselves and not with their fellow artisans. So I think that's a big piece of what prolific writer's life does. It kind of makes writers commune, if you will, and it's really important. A lot of things have changed for me as a writer since joining prolific writer's life. Like I said, I'm doing more. My teaching and my training has gotten more systematic. There's it used to be very episodic before, where I would meet people at book fairs or maybe through personal relations, and I would mentor people, as they came, almost happening by gravity. Now there's a system to it, and I've become a better trainer and a better teacher as a result. I think, yeah, I've become a little bit better of an entrepreneur of my material. I attend book fairs, fairly large book fairs throughout the year, and being able to discuss my affiliation with Prolific Writers Life. We have the material on my table, and I've gotten a certain amount of street credibility, that I'm not just a writer, but also I teach on the craft. So it's been really great in that respect. And then, as I said, writers can be very isolated. So being a part of Prolific Writers Life makes me commune with other writers, and that's always a good thing. Sharing ideas, sharing things that don't go well. Just talking about the craft, talking about the industry, because we all have different industry stories from my own individual writer's background. I'm an expert at Prolific Writers Life. That's pretty cool. Um, and then once again, and this kind of, you're going to hear this coming up a lot in terms of Prolific Writers Life, this community piece. I'm attending other experts classes, and that's making me better, and they attend my classes. So it's the benefits are just ongoing, and I'm still finding out what all of them are each and every week and each and every month. The best thing about being an expert at Prolific Writers Life is look on the faces of the people that I teach. One of the best things you hear is that, after going to your class, I used to be so worried about my project, and I'm not anymore. I used to be so afraid of the next step, and I'm not anymore. I used to think I was so behind, and I realized I'm not really that far behind. I'm very close to finishing my project. It's that demystification that is really the biggest thing. Joining Prolific Writers Life, you got to do it. It's there's the benefits you see, and then the benefits you don't see until after you join. That's been the biggest thing. There were things when I met with Lorraine and we talked about it, and I joined, and that I saw, yeah, this could be really good for me. But there were a lot of numerous things that have come up that I didn't see as a benefit that have happened since I joined. The community piece, yeah, I kind of believed in it, but then really, I've gotten really close with these folks. And these are people that live, nobody lives close to me. I mean, we're all far flung all over the map, but we are very close, and there's a familiarity. Like I mentioned earlier, getting back and doing some editorial writing. Didn't see that coming, and that's been really big in terms of helping me write faster and not being so, oh, what I want to do today, but really laser focusing and getting it out. Hadn't felt, like I said, I hadn't felt that since college. That's been great. So yeah, though, and like I said, there's small little benefits that come up all the time as a result. It's something, like I said, there's benefits you see from the outside, but then once you become a member and an expert, there are other little benefits that come, and those benefits are going to be different for everybody. The ones that have come to me will be different for other individuals. When you look at the classes, the amount of material that's available through Prolific Writers Life and the cost associated with it, it's pennies per day. It's very inexpensive. Um, Even the way for those classes that we charge for individually, there's discounts for members, but even the full prices compared to these other large events are very reasonable. And as we mentioned earlier, Prolific Writers Life meets you where you're at, right? Wherever you're at in the writing process, it meets you there, and it gives you just what you need at that point. A lot of the other larger events, we're going to tell you everything from initial idea to publishing, whether you're ready to hear it or not. Most writers, especially writers for the first time, are not ready to hear the whole thing. They need to hear about structure, or they need to hear about chapter length, or they need to hear about editing first draft. And then when they're ready for editing and publishing, Prolific Writers Life, the way we structure our classes and our material, it's in these little pockets where, like I said, it meets you where you're at when you're ready for it.